If I tell you that the real crime scene of Arlene Fraser's murder was never a forest, a room, or a car, but was hidden inside her everyday life. A life that made the police believe she had simply walked away on her own, when in reality, every single day, every action, and every sentence was leaving behind a silent message, a warning, a map, a clue, one we chose to ignore instead of listening to. On a calm spring evening in 1998, in the Scottish town of Elgin, Arlene Fraser said goodbye to her 2 children and promised she would return, but she never did. No scream, no blood, no witness, and that silence became the loudest voice in the entire case. At first, the police assumed what is often assumed in such cases, an adult woman who may have left voluntarily. But the real question is, what kind of mother disappears without her children? Arlene did not prepare her children's clothes, did not change school arrangements, did not make any plans for the future, and this psychological void itself becomes a clue, because a mother who chooses to leave prepares for her children, while a mother whose time is taken away has no chance to prepare anything at all. Arlene was a 33-year-old mother, soft-spoken, quiet, loyal. Friends said she avoided conflict, but behind closed doors her life was built on fear. She was in a relationship with Matt Fraser, a man who appeared respectable, intelligent, and calm on the surface, but control, financial grip, monitoring her movements, and cutting off contact with friends formed a web in which a person slowly loses their voice. And this is where the crime scene changes. There are no weapons here, only fear, no blood, only power. Arlene's friends noticed the change, anxiety, isolation, being controlled, and then one evening, she vanished. She was last seen leaving home on April 28, 1998. Her car was still there, her belongings inside, school arrangements unchanged, everything testified against the idea that she left willingly. As the investigation moved forward, one person remained unusually calm, Matt Fraser. He answered questions, showed no panic, made no mistakes, and that calmness became the second major clue in the case. Behavioral analysis tells us that unnatural calm and extreme uncertainty is often a sign of control. The person who already knows what has happened does not panic, they manage the scene. Over time, witnesses came forward. Arlene was afraid to leave him, she believed he could harm her, she had tried to get out before, and then came the sentence that became the backbone of the case: if anything happens to me, look at Nat. This was not just a complaint, it was a preemptive warning, a future-facing statement, as if Arlene knew time was running out and that speaking the truth was the only option left. This is the moment where a new angle is born. Did Arlene deliberately leave such statements to guide the investigation later? If so, it was a silent defense, a defense that points to the killer without physical violence. For months, police found nothing, no body, no weapon, no crime scene, and the case began to fade, but investigators made a decision: the case would not be closed. Watching, listening, searching for patterns, and then cracks began to appear. Friends shared years-old stories of emotional abuse, and evidence emerged pointing toward talk of making someone disappear, planning an alibi, and manipulating timelines. The picture changed. This was not a disappearance, it was premeditation, and here we drop a bombshell theory. Did Nat Fraser get his hands dirty himself? Or did he create conditions where the outcome happened on its own? Control, fear, and time, these 3 elements can sometimes be more lethal than direct violence. In 2003, an arrest was made, but a no-body case was dangerous. The defense slogan was clear: no body, no murder. Yet the prosecution connected motive, control, opportunity, and the reason Arlene would never leave her children, and the jury saw a man who believed himself smarter than everyone else. A conviction followed, then an appeal overturned it, public outrage exploded, but the story did not end. In 2012, a second trial came with stronger timelines, deeper psychological analysis, new testimony, and this time, a life sentence. Still, one question remains: where is Arlene's body? No grave, no goodbye, and perhaps that is where the case still breathes today. Because if the crime scene was never physical, if the real scene was Arlene's life, her fear, her words, and Nat's control, then the solution will also be found there. The purpose of this video is not to retell the same story again, it is to see what was ignored, no preparation for the children, unnatural calm, and preemptive warning statements, 3 hidden clues that together form a map. Maybe the truth is not in a forest, not in a box, but right in front of our eyes, in the patterns we dismissed as normal for years. So the question is not whether a perfect murder is possible, the real question is, did we see the perfect clues and still choose to ignore them? Because sometimes the most dangerous criminals are not hiding in the dark, they are sitting right beside us, in plain sight, behind the mask of everyday life.